Professor of Law Robert D. Bickel has taught at Stetson for 38 years. His national awards include the American Bar Association's Harrison Tweed Award for Continuing Legal Education and the Florida Bar's Faculty Professionalism Award. In 1994, he was elected to the American Law Institute, and he is a fellow of the National Association of College and University Attorneys. Joining Stetson's faculty in 1978, Professor Bickel served as assistant dean and created the law school's first federal civil procedure course. His other teaching subjects include torts and advanced torts, employment discrimination, constitutional law, civil rights history, and the law of the First Amendment. Professor Bickel created and launched the National Conference on Law and Higher Education. Now in its 37th year, this is the longest-running national conference of its kind. In 2004, Professor Bickel approached his colleagues to create a Constitutional Law and the Civil Rights Movement course. He envisioned a traveling classroom where students would meet civil rights icons. Stetson Law graduates Will Florin and Thomas Robig Jr. have provided significant funding for the travel course. In 2012, Professor Judith Scully and Professor Bickel created a concentration program in social justice advocacy, which graduated its first full class in 2014. Professor Bickel has invited numerous civil rights movement veterans to campus. He and video production manager Stan Arthur have also filmed interviews with a special group of civil rights movement veterans as part of a digital classroom project for the Museum Institute in Washington. Robert D. Bickel was born in 1942 in Easton, Pennsylvania, the only child of Marshall and Carrie Bickel. He spent his childhood on a small farm in tiny Greenwich Township in New Jersey and attended elementary and middle school in a one-building schoolhouse. As a teenager in 1957, Robert Bickel moved to St. Petersburg, Florida with his family and graduated from Northeast High School. He found inspiration in the civil rights movement, which began during his high school years. Professor Bickel is the first in his family to pursue a college education and was a member of the inaugural class at the University of South Florida, where he met his wife Marilyn. His high school, college, and law school years spanned 11 years of that movement from 1957 to 1968. After graduating from USF, he married Marilyn and joined the charter class of the Florida State University Law School. He and his new wife would call a modest trailer home. Robert Bickel graduated first in his law school class and valedictorian in 1968. In 1970, he was an appellate attorney with the Department of Justice Honors Program in Washington. At age 28, he became the first general counsel at Florida State University, launching a career in higher education spanning more than 4 decades. His son Brian, born in 1973, married Lori Michelle Bickel. Brian and Lori have 2 sons, Max and Jackson. After 7 years as general counsel at Florida State University, Professor Bickel was invited to the faculty at Stetson in 1978. Marilyn, who became a senior engineer with Raytheon, received a master's degree from Stetson University in 1982. Every law class Professor Bickel has taught has focused on finding people justice and remembering those who fought for justice. Professor of Law Robert D. Bickel is a member of the Stetson University College of Law Hall of Fame.